Could you give us an example of a typical day or a project? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, so my function is to grow mineable gold deposits. So I work in a district, which means it's kind of widespread mineralization of gold. Gold is our main target. There's other minerals as well. There's silver deposits in the area and a few other different things, but my company focuses on gold. And so there's a couple different areas of geologists when it comes to mines. There's exploration geologists who go out and find gold in places we don't know where there's gold. And then there's ore control geologists who are actively mining. They're in production mindset. Their job is to get the gold out of the ground and into a processing facility. That's their job. I'm kind of in the middle. So I help them develop gold deposits that we know exist, but I help them finesse our understanding, because when we declare as a company that we have gold, it's a legal statement. And so we have to make sure that we have a lot of data that backs up our claims, because otherwise it's lying to investors and the feds don't take kindly to that. So it's one of the things I do is I help develop deposits that will be mined in the next 3 to 7 years. So it's kind of in the middle between exploration and ore production. It's kind of developing, where will the mine go next? Where should we put on our next heading? Where should we open a new pit? That kind of thing. So what that looks like is that they drill tubes of rock. They kind of are just big. The size changes depending on the project and the budget, but they can be a few hundred or a few thousand feet long. And they're basically the rock record. We're getting a section of what like a slice of cake. It's basically what we're doing in these cores. And then my job is to digitize that so we can map it. So I create a 3D map of this 3D core to show what the rock looks like, what the alteration looks like, what mineralization is happening inside of that. And then I also develop a sampling protocol for it so we can get assays. And these assays or tests show us how much gold is in the rock, so we can estimate approximately how much gold we have in this area. And then also the bulk chemistry. What will it take to process this gold, to extract it? Because there's, depending on the chemistry, that that will determine whether or not this is actually an economic deposit. Can we mine and process this gold at a profit? So that kind of goes into our thought pattern. So my background's in geochemistry. That's what I got my my master's in. And so these are kind of topics that I find really exciting. But also it's really cool because I get to see so many different types of rocks, so many different types of alterations. And it's very visual as a science. I think a lot of times you don't get that kind of visual element. And a lot of what I work with is sensing with my eyeballs, like what's going on here. But it's equal parts, physical work. Like I'm working with rocks. I go out to the drill rig to check on our core samples, and then also doing digital work. So it's a nice balance between the two, which I personally really like.